More than 44,000 people died on American roads in a single year. That is a fact. The National Safety Council reported this number for 2024, a record-breaking year for traffic deaths. The open road promises freedom, a chance to see new places, to escape. We pack our bags, fill the tank, and set out with a sense of adventure. We trust the painted lines to guide us safely to our destination. We believe the journey will be as joyful as the arrival. But sometimes the road has other plans. The familiar hum of the engine can become the soundtrack to a nightmare, and the long, dark stretches of highway can hide dangers we never imagined were possible. The stories you're about to hear are warnings. They are echoes from journeys that started with hope, but ended in fear. These are not tales from horror movies, even though some might sound like it. They are drawn from real events, from news reports, and from the chilling accounts of people who found themselves in the wrong place at the wrong time. Each story is a reminder that the world outside your car window is unpredictable. Danger does not always announce itself with a loud noise. Sometimes it waits silently in the shadows, just beyond the reach of your headlights, patient and unseen. A sleepy driver, a patch of ice, a mechanical failure. These are real and frequent threats. Risky behaviors like distracted driving continue to be a major cause of these preventable tragedies. But there are other kinds of dangers that lurk on the lonely highways and quiet back roads. These are the human dangers, the ones born from malice or strange circumstance. The kind of danger that makes you lock your doors and check your rearview mirror, your heart pounding with a primal, unexplainable dread. As we travel into the future, experts warn that the risks may only grow. Travel security analysts point to a rise in threats against tourists. Sophisticated hackers direct harassment in popular destinations. Right now, there is a lot of uncertainty when it comes to travel security. Even attractive destinations have seen tourists targeted. This means that being aware and prepared is more important than ever. The road is a shared space, but you can never be certain who you are sharing it with. Every passing car holds a story, and some stories are darker than others. Imagine you are driving home late one night. The road is deserted, flanked by dark woods, no houses, no streetlights for miles. Your phone battery is low. You are tired and just want to be home. Then, up ahead, you see something in the middle of the road. At first, it is just a shape, a dark blot against the gray asphalt. As you get closer, your mind tries to make sense of it. Maybe it is a fallen branch, a piece of debris from a truck. But the shape is too symmetrical, too upright. It looks like a person. This is what happened to one driver on a lonely road. Long black trench coat, hockey mask. They were not trying to cross the road. They were standing there, waiting. It was a deliberate act, an attempt to make the driver stop. Fear gripped her. A cold, sharp warning not to obey, not to stop the car. Instinct took over. She did not stop. She swerved around the figure, tires screeching on the pavement. For a split second, the masked person was right beside her window, head turning to follow the car as it passed. The image was burned into her memory. She pressed her foot down on the accelerator and did not look back. Her heart hammered until she saw the comforting glow of town lights. She drove straight to the police station, hands shaking. The police took her statement. There was little they could do. The figure was gone. Later, she learned other drivers had reported similar encounters on that stretch of road. No one was ever harmed, but the intent was clear. Someone was out there, using fear as a weapon, trying to force a lone driver to stop in the middle of nowhere. It makes you wonder, what would have happened if she had stopped? What was the purpose of this terrifying roadside theater? Some road trip stories are so bizarre they defy belief. They cross a line from unfortunate to utterly macabre. Consider the story of a Polish family returning home from a trip. They were not traveling under happy circumstances. The family's beloved grandfather had passed away. They were transporting his body back to their hometown for burial. To be discreet, they placed his remains inside a large ski box. The ski box was mounted on the roof of their car. It was an unconventional solution, born from grief and necessity. At one point, the family pulled into a rest stop to get food and use the facilities. They were gone for only a short time. When they returned to the parking lot, their car was gone. A thief had stolen it. With the car went all their luggage. With the car went their travel documents. With the car went the ski box containing the body of their grandfather. The family was left stranded, in shock, facing an unthinkable situation. They had to report the car stolen, but how could they explain what was inside the box on the roof? For a decade, this macabre event became a dark family secret. They reported their grandfather as a missing person back in Wrocław. The authorities searched, But of course, they found nothing. The family lived with the silent, heavy knowledge of what had truly happened. An 8-year-old daughter in the family was present for the entire ordeal. She was forced to carry the secret throughout her childhood. It was a burden almost too heavy to imagine for a young mind. It was not until she turned 18 that she could finally speak about the incident with a therapist, releasing the secret she had held for 10 long years. A random crime colliding with private grief became a uniquely horrifying experience. The car thief likely had no idea what they were taking. One can only imagine their shock upon discovering the contents of that ski box. It leaves you with a haunting question. What did they do with the grandfather's body? The line between fun and disaster can be terrifyingly thin. On a road trip, especially with a group of friends, the atmosphere can be light and full of laughter. Pranks seem harmless, jokes seem harmless. But a car moving at high speed is not a playground. The laws of physics are unforgiving. A single moment of poor judgment can have consequences that last a lifetime. One group of friends learned this lesson in the most brutal way possible. Their road trip was meant to be a fun night out. Their story is one of many freak accidents that capture public attention because they seem so unlikely, so preventable. The car was filled with energy. The car was filled with jokes. One person decided to play a prank on the driver. It might have been a sudden shout, a grab of the steering wheel, something to block the driver's vision. Whatever it was meant to be funny. But the driver, startled and momentarily blinded, lost control of the vehicle. The laughter turned to screams in an instant. The car veered sharply off the road, crashing into a solid barrier with devastating force. The sound of twisting metal, shattering glass, replaced the music that had been playing just moments before. When the chaos subsided, one person in the car was dead. The survivors were left with physical injuries, a crushing weight of guilt and grief. The question, "Why did we do that?" would echo in their minds forever. A moment of thoughtless fun had stolen a life and shattered many others. This tragic event is a stark reminder of the responsibilities that come with being in a moving vehicle. The driver is not the only one who needs to be focused. Passengers have a role to play in maintaining a safe environment. A simple prank, a foolish stunt, can escalate into a tragedy with irreversible outcomes. It shows how the greatest danger on the road is not always an external threat, but sometimes the poor decisions made inside the car itself. How many tragedies begin with the simple words, "Wouldn't it be funny if..." Road rage is a familiar danger. We have all felt a flash of anger at another driver who cuts us off or drives too slowly. Usually it passes, a muttered curse, a honk, and we move on. But for some, that anger does not pass. It ignites into a consuming fire, turning a simple traffic dispute into a terrifying battle for survival. This is exactly what happens in the 2025 horror film Delivery Run, but the story it tells is frighteningly close to reality. The film follows a delivery driver who, after a minor road rage incident with a massive snowplow, finds himself hunted through the night by its homicidal operator. While this is a fictional story, it mirrors events where minor disagreements have escalated to violence and even death. A moment of impatience can trigger an unexpectedly violent response from a stranger. Consider a real incident. A man is driving with his family. He inadvertently cuts off another vehicle. The other driver becomes enraged. They follow him for miles, honking, flashing their lights, driving aggressively. The man tries to lose them, but the other driver is relentless. The chase ends when the enraged driver forces the family off the road. What started as a simple driving error becomes a life-threatening confrontation. This is not a rare event. Police reports are filled with similar stories. We are enclosed, anonymous to one another. That anonymity can strip away civility. The lesson is difficult. Sometimes the safest response is to de-escalate. Let the other driver go. Do not engage. Do not make eye contact. A small act of anger can ignite a fire you cannot control, leaving you to wonder if it was worth it. Not all road trip horrors involve crashes or criminals. Some are strange and unexplained, roads whispered about in hushed tones. One of the most infamous is Clinton Road in West Milford, New Jersey. An isolated 10-mile stretch, legendary among paranormal enthusiasts. Drivers report phantom vehicles, headlights that appear suddenly, then vanish without a trace. No side roads, no place to turn off. There one moment, gone the next, leaving you alone in oppressive darkness. Other tales are more disturbing. Reports of strange, hooded figures standing silently by the roadside. Stories of a ghost boy on a bridge. Coins thrown into the water, then returned. Strange symbols scrawled on the road, returning to find cars surrounded by odd objects. a constant feeling of being watched. Are these truly supernatural? Or imagination on a dark, lonely road? The woods are dense. The road is poorly lit. Isolation can play tricks on the mind. For those who have driven Clinton Road, the fear is real. A warning that the world holds mysteries we do not understand. Sometimes the most frightening thing on a dark road is the unknown itself. What really waits in the trees along that lonely stretch of pavement? Every day, at least 300 people die from road crashes in the WHO Eastern Mediterranean region alone. A daily reminder of the fragility of life on the road. Each death represents a story, a life cut short, a family changed forever. The World Day of Remembrance focuses on that day, the moment a life was stopped or altered. Often that moment is not dramatic but something small and seemingly insignificant, like a moment of distraction. Consider a young couple driving to a party late at night. They were happy, talking about their plans. They had just come from a long movie and felt the weight of sleepiness. The road was straight and familiar. The driver let his eyelids droop for just a second, a micro-sleep. But a second is all it takes at 60 miles per hour. In that single second, the car drifted, tires onto the rough shoulder. The sudden jolt woke the driver. Too late. He overcorrected. The car spun, slid sideways, and slammed into a large oak tree. The impact was violent. The quiet was shattered. Fatigue's dreamlike state gave way to the metallic reality of a serious accident. The couple survived, but their lives were changed. Months of painful physical therapy and lingering psychological trauma. He was haunted by that 1 second, the moment he let his guard down. Simple tiredness, something every driver has felt, had nearly cost them everything. The most common dangers are often the most lethal. How many drivers right now are fighting to keep their eyes open? The final stretch can feel like the safest. Home is near, and you relax. A man on the last mile home sees a stopped car with hazards. They seem distressed. Their words tumble in panic. They ask for a phone, a ride to a gas station. His first instinct is to help, of course. But something feels wrong. The distress seems too theatrical. Their position feels intentional. He remembers stories about roadside scams. He keeps doors locked and the window barely open. Politely, he refuses but promises to call as soon as he gets a signal. The panic disappears. A cold glare replaces it. He does not wait to see what happens next. Trusting his gut, he backs away, turns around, and leaves. He drives to a nearby gas station and calls the police. It was a known tactic in the area to rob well-meaning drivers. His intuition saved him. How many people do not listen to that inner voice? The open road will always hold allure, possibility, freedom, and the journey itself. These stories are not meant to lock you in fear. They are meant to make you aware. They are meant to make you a smarter and safer traveler. Statistics are not just numbers. They are lives. Even a simple everyday task can turn deadly. Life is unpredictable. The road is neutral. What populates it are people, with intentions, struggles, and the capacity for error or malice. A road trip is an exercise in trust. You trust other drivers will stay in their lanes. You trust bridges will hold. You trust the person at the gas station is just buying gas. Most of the time, that trust is rewarded. But when it is broken, the consequences can be severe. Being prepared is not paranoia. It is practical. Acknowledge that while most of the world is safe, dangers exist. A charged phone, a full tank of gas. A clear plan can be your best defense against the unknown. Tell someone your route and expected arrival time. Choose to rest when you are tired. Let another driver's aggression go unanswered. Small, conscious decisions separate a safe journey from a tragedy. Remember the figure in the dark. Remember the stolen grandfather. Remember the angry snowplow driver. Let them be quiet companions reminding you to stay alert, trust your instincts, and respect the power of the road. Simple safety tips for any road trip. 1. Stay charged. Keep your phone full and bring a power bank or car charger. 2. Plan your route. Tell someone where you are going and when you will arrive. 3. Rest when tired. Stop every 2 hours on long drives. 4. Stay aware. Avoid distractions. Stay alert at rest stops. 5. Do not stop for strangers at night. Go to a well-lit public place and call help for them. 6. Secure your vehicle. Keep doors locked and windows up, especially in traffic.